Welcome back. While I had the space, I thought I'd quickly just knock out a second video because we've got a very fluctuating schedule for this week and it's quite complicated. So I thought I'd do a very, very quick, so cup of tea, biscuit, you'll enjoy this better, very quick introduction into how you hold a handgun. There's a lot of disputes that sort of roam around within the internet about you're doing it all wrong, you're some sort of idiot, you're going to injure yourself, or that's just the nonsense. It doesn't happen like that. So the summary of the video is you're an idiot whichever way you do it. So I'm just going to run through my tried and tested way of the correct way of handling or holding firearms. These are obviously film and TV props. They're airsofts. We don't sell them. We only rent them. So we rent them. Yeah, we only rent them. So we have everyone's favourite, Glock 19. The quickest way to explain this, just make sure mag well's empty, chamber's empty, action forwards. The way I was always told is the web of your hand, this cushion part, you have to roll that into the spur of the firearm, because what you're trying to do is create a really nice muscly meaty cushion to absorb the recoil. Obviously you're employing a parallel grip, so both thumbs to one side. It allows you the opportunity to operate any functionality that the firearm has, and you're not employing an X grip on a self-loading pistol, because if you put your thumb behind it here, and this is the bit that always confuses people, and we used to tell people this, so we probably caused some of this. If you employ an X grip, in other words, your thumbs are crossing over, when the slide actuates backwards, your thumb is in the direct line of travel. Yeah. And people go, oh my God, it'll chop your thumb off. Nah, that's not really true. Oh my God, it's going to break your thumb or break the skin or cut you. Yeah, that could probably happen. And the reason why we told people this, do not employ an X grip when shooting a self-loaded pistol, is really, really, really simple. When the slide comes back unexpectedly to the operator, they could panic, go ow, 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 and point the gun at the instructor, which will have recycled and will be loaded. The slide actuates, they hurt their thumb, ow, ow, my thumb, help me. That's not something that anyone wants on the range. It's really that simple. That's why we told people don't use the X grip when shooting self-loading, use the parallel grip. And by gripping the firearm and trying to get the firearm and the slide as low as possible in your hand, so the bore axis is pretty much in line with your trigger finger, your pointing finger, it is a very natural process to bring these things into an alignment. Obviously I'm cheating to keep it in frame, but the pointing process starts as soon as the firearm comes out of the holster and then extends into the full grip. And you will be amazed how quick you can learn to align the foresight and wrist sight, which is also an important thing. So self-loading pistol, parallel grip, for no other reason than the X grip is controversial and can cause you some problems. You can, and this is something else that we've done in film and TV sometimes, you can actually discharge the firearm by locking the slide forwards, take a single shot, nothing happens, the gun doesn't recycle. This is usually used for assassins because an assassin doesn't necessarily want to leave evidence, the empty case, which could have fingerprints or DNA or God knows what material on it. So what you're trying to do, take a single shot, then rack the action, take the case to one side, pop it in your pocket, and how do you do? I'm here to kill you. So that's number one. And of course now we move on to revolvers. Again, this is an airsoft for film and TV production, and here the process is slightly different. So you would operate an X grip because it allows you to bring the hammer back to have a nice single action shot. It is better, and you wouldn't have a parallel grip. You wouldn't have your thumb near the front of the cylinder for one simple reason. A revolver has a rotating loose part, and the lock-up between the cylinder and the barrel, there is a little tiny gap. And if your revolver is out of time, in other words, is not properly indexed, this can happen if they're older models, you can get gases venting out of the sides. You can get bits of brass that are caught up on the forcing cone, so the bullet, the projectile, is misaligned with the barrel, and that will want to go somewhere. And if your hand is covering up the cylinder, you're going to get an ouchie. Now, it's not as dangerous for the tutor, the coach, this time round. It's more dangerous for the operator, but it's still dangerous. And that's what we try to avoid. We try to mitigate the risk. So with a revolver, again, we'll show it one more time that it's completely empty. With a revolver, again, you're still trying to grip it nice and high because you want the recoil to act on the long parts of your arm very consistently, and you would probably operate an X grip where you can then get to the hammer to operate the firearm. It is better for you, the user, than to have some sort of weird cover-all wrap-around grip, which is going to get you hurt. So those are the two main bits. Now, if you disagree with that, by all means, leave a comment, and I will read to it and respond. But the key thing to remember, we are all about safety, mitigating risk, and creating the illusion of reality for film and TV. I watch a lot of stuff, and I listen to the dialogue, yeah, that's great. And then I look at the action and I think to myself, yeah, this person is not confident with firearms, and whoever was managing that process should have just spent another 20 minutes or so just to go through the process, get that bit right, because that would add an enormous amount of value to the production. And that's something that we specialize in. So if it's been useful, by all means, click, like and subscribe, and we'll carry this on at a later date. Thanks very much. Have a lovely day.